Here's the original driver's running board for the 52 Ford. As you can see, there's a large rip tear out there. It was rusted and it was, I guess, repaired. That's where there's two braces on the driver's side only that are on an angle that brace stiffen the running board, and it rusted real bad, and I guess the previous owner cut it out and they just bondoed it up and put a little bit of sheet metal and screwed the sheet metal and bondoed it. So I gotta fix that. We got a donor running board off of a 2-ton truck. It's only half the size, so I'm hoping I'm going to be able to cut out from both sides and just cut out this part and fix that, and same with that. It'll be very tedious to get all these grooves correct. If not, might have to try using the bead roller and making my own patch. So working on the driver's running board, we cut out the rest, as you can see, and we went to our parts vehicle, which had a decent top of the running boards anyways. So we cut 2 pieces out there and there, and we will basically cut them, butt weld them in there, and the other one in there, and it should look better than it was. Okay, so I've trimmed out the panel, and as you can see, it fits fairly decently. And we'll just tack it in and fit it into place a little bit, and then it'll just be hard grinding along the edges, but not much we can do. It'll look better than rust holes.
Speed holes.
Speed holes.
Go Gadget, go!
Here's the running board I've been working on. This side is all been welded in and ground down. Same with this side, it's all welded in, ground down. It's going to need a little bit of Bondo. We did find out that this running board was quite warped, but what we did is replace the original running board had braces similar to these just on the driver's side, so we replaced it with just angle iron, and it worked out perfectly. This thing will be stiff, and it's just ready to be stripped, and then we'll apply a little bit of Bondo just to fill some of the gaps. But other than that, came out as good as this beat up old running board could. This is the front valance off the 52 Ford half-ton. The original one was very rusted here and here, so we got this one off a parts truck. It's a little bit better. It was rusted through there, so I just made a patch panel and weld that in shortly. It's got some other issues. It's been welded there. Welded up here before. It's been leaded all through here. Must have been done early on in its life for them to lead it, and it's a very decent job. But it's got lots of little dings and dents, but not too bad for rot. Just this one little spot. So it's a good, decent panel. Here we are working on the 52 Ford half-ton again. As you can see, we've painted the bottom of the cab with Pour 15. We like it. It's very tough and durable. We've primered the fenders and high build them, along with the front grille and the lower front grille. Still got some more body work to do, and the lower, we've cleaned up the lower fender extensions, and as you can see, rust. So those will have to be dealt with right away. It's all because this water gets behind that brace. But I'll show you that. More rust repair. So these are the fender extensions on the front fenders that need to be fixed. You can see I've marked out where I want to cut on that one and this one. I'll just do them both at the same time, make it easier using the same tool at the same time. This one's in a little bit rougher shape. The back brace is in decent, it looks decent, but I'll cut out this and I'll clean that side of the brace and spray it with some rust inhibiting primer. I like to definitely keep my line straight. It's easier cutting, easier fitting panels, and I keep a line away from the edge as much as possible, just because that'll give me a nice edge to go by when I'm fitting the panel, doing Bondo, final prep work, and all that. It just keeps the body line the same. So I will cut those out and start making panels. But you've seen me cutting, but I've got excess stuff from the front, the fenders that I've used on the bead roller, so they got a little bit of curve, and that's what I want. So I'll just use my excess panels, so I don't have to waste any more sheet metal. So I'll cut those out. And underneath the panel, interesting. Not sure what that is. It's not rust, it's Bondo. And a lot of rust. Underneath this one, more rust. So I'll take a wire wheel and clean up the inside brace and then give it a good coating. And then once that's all welded in, we'll spray the underside with Pour 15. We did that with the fenders. There's the fender. It gives it a good tough coating. I'll start fitting the panels. Here's the Fender Extensions all cut out, pieces made. I sprayed the inside brace with rust paint, so it keeps it from rusting. That's the second one. The panel will just go in there, get welded. There's some few more cracks and dents that have to be welded and pounded out, but other than that, they'll be ready to be bondoed up and then sanded, primed, and that's another boring day. Probably won't show you that because that's the boring. Here's the finished Fender Extensions. That's been all welded up, ground, ready for a little bit of Bondo. That came out very nice. This one also had a crack through there. It's been welded. Crack up here. This has been welded there, and then once the Bondo, little bit of Bondo work's been done, we'll spray Pour 15 in the inside and primer it, high build it, and block these out. There's still some dents, but we'll get those out with the hammer and dolly and the high build. So that's it for hopefully rust repair on the front fenders. And the next time you'll see it, they'll probably be in primer.